Slavery is back.
Welcome to a place where private business profit from a captive labour force, yet pennies are spent on medical services to a population in which the Indigenous, the poor and the mentally ill are overrepresented. Where isolation, humiliation and degradation are facts of life. Welcome to prison.
It depends who's telling the story, I suppose. The prisoners would have one view, the people who work in the prison system would have another, and I think it's up to people to decide where the truth is.
Give government propaganda and the media spin doctors the flick. And check out Doin' Time for news, views and tunes on prison issues from Guantanamo Bay to Christmas Island to prisons and detention centres everywhere. Every Monday at 4 p.m. on your community radio 3CR.
We are still fired up and we're still talking about revolution.
Welcome to the Doing Time show. This is Peter. This is 3CR Community Radio 855 on the AM dial, streaming live on www.3cr.org.au. First up on the show, we will be talking to Anthony Kelly from Flemington, Kensington Legal Centre about Victoria's police announcement to introduce confronting new riot gear. Victoria Police are introducing a series of new weapons. These are crowd control, guns, and apparatus that could seriously criminalise protestors and minority groups. We also will be speaking about the appalling racist behaviour of Assistant Commissioner Brett Guerin, who spread vile, racist, sexist, homophobic abuse online in the secret for a long time. Assistant Commissioner Brett Guerin was not just any old cop. He was a career and police officer with 40 years of service who headed Professional Standards Command. After that, we'll be speaking to Vickie Roach, respected Aboriginal writer and activist, about the stolen generation and her experience and views in regards to this. We'll just go to a song now. This is Sorry by AB Original.
I'm sorry. You're sorry. La di la da di la da da. I'm sorry. You're sorry. You caught some feelings from me. I might just kill somebody. La di la da di la da da. I'm sorry. You're sorry. You caught some feelings from me. I might just kill somebody. You make me feel some kind of way. La di la da di la da da. La di la da di la da da. La di la da di la da da. You make me feel
I said catch me politicking with this politician, ripped him out of office. I promise we keep it G without the $1,000 to our namesake. Me and B the same name in camouflage. Drop so many S's off my chest they call it sabotage. Camo cars looking for that buzz like I'm a land on Mars. They tried to ride along but none could ever handle bars. Heavy on the heli on, my strings bring a Dylan. Eureka on the speaker, that must mean that I'm a chillin'. Now I'm back so they steppin' and I'm black so they stressin'. That the fact that my weapon is just that. I'm black so they terrified. Put the song on record so it never dies. I did the wrong so my son could always get it right. What's being known if you ain't ever leaving home and speaking on it? You want a gimmick? Try being honest. That's a rare commodity in this here economy. But hey, me and B will make them see like Pam and Tommy Lee. My apologies.
Money, turn that to my money. Round up the squad, don't worry who I signed, buddy. You dirty like me on TV, that's just fine, honey. Talking all the bullshit and now they're trying to hide from me. Please, bitch, you don't want to shoot the messengers. But I want to do something to leave the messages. Living proof you gotta learn the lesson is. You fuck around and have to Maradona. You fucked around and made me do some shit that I don't wanna. Apologies, don't follow me or you're a goner. I know you're sorry, and I'm sorry, but I gotta.
I'm sorry, you're sorry. You got some feelings for me. I might just kill somebody. La di la da di la da da. I'm sorry, you're sorry. You got some feelings for me. I might just kill somebody. You make me feel some kind of way. La di la da di la da da. La di la da di la da da. La di la da di la da da. Here come the pallbearers. Bury, bury, bury you deep, deep down, down, down. La di la da di la da da. 6 feet under.
And you're back with the 3CR's Doing Time show. Must apologise, I didn't know there was some language warning there. I didn't listen to the song before it came on. We've got Anthony Kelly on the line. I'll just get him. Hello, Anthony.
G'day, Peter.
Hi. Anthony, you're going to talk about the racist policing in Victoria, and also the don't worry about it. I'll shoot some questions at you.
Sure.
In the Age newspaper recently published an article about the new weapons to be given to Victoria Police. Can you tell us about this and the list of weapons and what they're for?
Certainly, yeah. So the Age and the Herald Sun and the Channel 7 all had exclusive access to a launch of a new armoury of police weapons that Victoria Police had obtained under a heap of new funding that they obtained from the current state government. And it's not just for these weapons, it's for our big training facilities and a 24/7 command surveillance centre in CBD and new vehicles and a whole range of other things that they've got as part of this virtually a $2 billion package.
Wow.
That came out in 2016 and includes, thousands of more police. I think over 3,000 more police, and which will bring the number of Victoria Police, I think, up to about 21,000 serving members, and also body-worn cameras, and also some very sophisticated data IT technology. That's
really?
also being implemented at the moment. Yeah, a lot of databases being merged so that police are able to, look at things across the board for predictive tracking of suspects. So that's something that we're also keeping an eye on at the moment as well. But the new weapons, they got a lot of media attention and are obviously of great concern because they're going to be pointed at Victorian citizens in a not-too-distant future. And a lot of these weapons had already been in existence or used by Victoria Police, but only by very special units, such as the Special Operations Group or the Critical Incident Response Teams. And they're the ones that go into prisons during uprisings or go into like hostage situations. And so they've been used or deployed at least in very relatively limited circumstances.
Yeah.
And what they were announcing on Thursday was the rollout of these weapons to the Operations Response Unit, which would be familiar to many listeners. They're the police often at the protests and counter-protests over recent years. Sometimes they're helmeted up with riot gear, and sometimes they're just in, more intense uniforms. But there's going to be the initial. There'll be about 100 initially trained in the use of these, what they call crowd control or non-lethal weapons.
Yeah.
And they'll be rolled out over this year, by the sound of it.
So that will affect the civil and political rights of protesters and minority groups as well.
Well, that's right. Yeah. So the police have flagged that they'll be they're necessary in the police's perspective for protests that get out of control, where violence happens, in teenage parties, and that spill into the street, and also for other upright, for other civil disorder events. And so these have been in the pipeline for a long time, but one of the incidents that they referenced was the protests against the Milo Yiannopoulos event in Flemington in early December last year, where riot police went straight into the Flemington housing estates and caused a great deal of uproar and frustration amongst residents, and also a lot of injuries and complaints that came from that sort of policing. So they were using that as a rationale, a justification for increasing the range of weaponry that they have available. But in our view, it makes it an example of why riot police, even with the current level of weaponry and technology, are very dangerous and can generate civil disorder rather than quell it.
That's right, yeah.
Yeah, so the weapons that they announced include rubber bullet launchers, and they've been known to kill and maim, depending on the range that they're fired and what part of the body the rubber bullet hits. So all these weapons are classed as sublethal or non-lethal, and yet on very regular occasions they cause permanent injuries or death. Another weapon is the stinger grenades, which can be thrown or rolled into crowds and create and explode with smoke and noise, but also throw pellets out, often rubber pellets that hit at waist high, or if they're thrown, they're even more dangerous. So they can also blind, maim people, and they also cause a great deal of confusion and distress. They've talked about flashbang grenades, which are also used in conflict zones around the world as a form of crowd control, and they're also very dangerous. And also what you saw most of the pictures of in the media were these pellet ball guns. They're automatic weapons that can either fire capsicum balls of little pellets of capsicum at people, or they can use dye markers like paintball, essentially, to target people or tag people for later arrest.
Oh, really?
Or they can fire rubber bullets as well. So, rubber projectiles. And they're also very dangerous, depending on the range and where they hit the body as well.
That sounds really dangerous. Just say they think they're a good shot and they hit you in the heart or something.
So people with pre-existing injuries is one thing, but also when they hit the side of the head, the temple, the face or eyes, and any soft body parts, they can cause serious injury or potentially death. And there's been a number of deaths. Rubber bullets, of course, have caused deaths over many decades. They've been, in Northern Ireland, people might remember a whole series of deaths related to the British police use of rubber bullets in that context. But around the world, they're often cause deaths of protesters. So all of this is quite disturbing and worrying. And what we noticed straight away from the way that it was launched is that the Victoria Police were essentially saying, we need the community to come on board with this sort of stuff. These weapons are necessary, and they need to be, and we need to use them, and they're justified, and we want you to come with us. And some people might have noticed the Melbourne Activist Legal Support Group putting out a statement and an article on the weekend, and so that's pretty much clarified that a large part of the community were not with the Chief Commissioner on this one, and there's been the hashtag not with you has been quite prolific on Twitter and social media at the moment, of groups and individuals saying that no, we don't support the rollout of these new weapons.
Mm. It's like a fear tactic too, isn't it? To quieten the masses, sort of thing.
Yes, yeah. So any sort of police weaponry like this generates fear and can also restrict our civil and political rights to assemble on the streets due to the fact that people are justifiably scared of what the police are going to do. Yeah. So that in itself is an infringement on the right to peaceful assembly.
Yeah.
Now, police have a certain idea. We know from studies around the world that the presence of riot police can, as I said before, generate disorder, generate panic and fear and create conflict. Mm. And police, to a certain extent, are aware of this. They're often careful, a little bit careful, inverted commas, about when they deploy riot police. They try and do it in stages, etc. But even then, we know, and Melbourne activist legal supporters often said this, that they often deploy riot police far earlier than they should. Yep. And often the situation changes quite drastically once riot police are deployed. And so what you see is, in effect, like a mini arms race between the activist groups and the police. Overseas and in Europe, activists wear helmets and wear body armour and shields and build barricades in response to this sort of weapon. And so you sort of see this arms race between, of escalation. And it's something that, it's not effective. It's not good for civil and political rights. It's not good for people in Victoria at all.
Yeah. Could you comment on what happened with the Guerin affair, I think it's called?
Oh, right. Okay. So the former Assistant Commissioner Brett Guerin was in charge of the area in Victoria Police that took complaints from the public, called the Professional Standards Command. Yep. And so the Professional Standards Command sees the complaints from all over Victoria, and Brett Guerin was head of this, as I said. It was uncovered by a team of investigative journalists from Fairfax, The Age, in particular, that Brett Guerin had been using a pseudonym and trolling sort of police opponents in various forms over quite a long period of time. Yep. And later discovered that using the same online accounts had been engaging in this quite really horrific, racist and transphobic and really quite almost genocidal, sort of commentary and trolling on other social media platforms such as YouTube and others. So basically, this very senior commander of Victoria Police had been engaging in all this. Allegedly, he admitted it as such, and later resigned. Really quite horrific racist views. And so, what that immediately raised concerns about was this guy was overseeing complaints about racial discriminatory policing and a whole range of other issues, and to what level was his personal views and prejudices impacting upon the complaints that he oversaw.
Oh, right.
So, and this is a particular interest to this legal centre because many people might remember back in 2005 and 6 and 7, Tamara Hopkins, who was here, was putting in multiple complaints about racial profiling from local young people in the area. Yep. And we were putting those in, and at that time, Brett Guerin was superintendent of our area, and he had oversight of the complaints that we were putting in locally initially. And so we immediately called for an audit and investigation into the complaints that Brett Guerin oversaw.
Right. And
IBAC, the Independent Bureau Against Corruption, have announced an investigative program. It's called Operation Turin into Brett Guerin's online behaviour and the extent to which he has oversight of various, his biases have impacted upon complaints under his command.
So
that investigation is currently underway.
Underway now. All right. Mm-hmm. That'll be interesting to see the outcome.
Yeah. So it points to the potential of, the idea of institutionalised racism, just how racism gets supported and promoted and protected within a large body or an institution, and how those sentiments become part of operations and practices within the institution.
Becomes systemic too, doesn't it?
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. So when it becomes institutionalised and systemic, and that's something that we've been, of course, observant of and worried about and highlighting continually with our, continual cases and work against stop and search practices and racialised policing and discriminatory policing. But this also comes down to senior command, as a commander within the top echelons of Victoria Police having really abhorrent values, and to what extent that they impact on these practices and the ability of Victoria Police to deal appropriately with complaints about racial profiling.
Yep. All right. Have you got anything more to say about that, or?
No. Well, if you're concerned about the police weapons issue, I recommend heading to the Melbourne Activist Legal Support website for the latest articles and initiatives there. And if you've got any, if you want to keep up to date with the work of the Police Accountability Project, then head to policeaccountability.org.au for updates and news.
Thanks very much. Awesome. Thanks, Anthony. I will get in contact with you soon about probably about the police corruption stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
Thanks, Peter.
Thanks very much.
Thanks heaps. Bye for now.
See you. Bye. And that was Anthony Kelly from Flemington Kensington Legal Centre talking about the Commissioner, ex-Police Commissioner Brett Guerin, spreading vile and racist homophobic abuse, and also about the new weaponry riot police that could be rolling out soon, which is a bit of a worry.
Are you doing the right thing? Raise it up.
Marxism 18 is Australia's biggest radical left-wing conference, happening March 29th to April 1st in Melbourne. The conference will feature founding editor of Jacobin magazine, Bhaskar Sunkara, Australian writer Helen Razor, Palestinian activist Huwaida Araf, and films celebrating 50 years since the struggles of 1968. Join radicals and activists for political discussion in over 100 sessions across 4 days. Tickets start at $25 and are available at marxismconference.org. Red Flag Press is a 3CR supporter.
And next on the line is Vickie Roach. We'll be talking to, she's a respected Aboriginal writer and activist speaking about Stolen Generation and drawing upon NITV's investigation about this in 1991. Vickie was taken into state care after her mother asked the authorities to look after her temporarily. She went to another child in a home and unmarried mothers. Her mother never got back to her, and Vickie was only 2 years old and was made a ward of the state, given to a white foster family. She had changed her sheets, saying that she was charged for neglect or dissolution. Oh, Vickie, hi.
Hi, Peter. How are you?
Hi. I'm not sure that was a funny intro. Sorry about that.
That's okay. Yeah, what happened was when I was 2, like my mother was unmarried. She was in all sorts of difficulty. There wasn't a lot of help for women around those days, and she went to the child welfare because she'd been a ward of the state as well until she was 18, and she wasn't even, she was only just 20 by then. And their response was to give me to the daughter of the foster family. She was working at the child welfare office that my mum went into.
Yeah.
And they sought custody of me and took me to court. And I was when I received my wardship file, probably about 5 years ago or something, the first document in it was a charge sheet from when I was 2 years old. They literally charged me.
Charged you?
My name was on. Yep. The charge sheet said that I was apprehended in the court and charged with being neglected by way of destitution.
Oh, right. Yeah, I read change sheet by mistake.
No, charge sheet. Charge sheet, yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, they used to do it. I'm not even sure when they stopped doing it or if they stopped doing it. But it was basically a device to remove us, to take us away.
Yeah.
Like it was an official way of doing it through the court, I suppose. But it had the effect of giving us all criminal records.
Oh, good.
So if and when you did come to the notice of police or anybody else, because you had these things in your criminal record that weren't even criminal charges, you were treated like a criminal and more easily taken into the criminal system, into the criminal justice system.
Yep. So can you comment on the stolen generation and the part of this played in hurting Aboriginal people?
Oh, look, it's happening again now. It's never really stopped. But we're having another concerted campaign to remove as many Aboriginal children as we possibly can. We know how badly it damaged not just individual people, but our communities as a whole. The fabric of our entire society is ripped apart by these removals. And for the children who are removed, the loss of culture and identity is far-reaching. It never ends. And we also know that children who are removed and in the care and protection of child services are most often likely to go to child detention, youth detention, and wind up in prison in later years.
No.
Exactly like I did, and millions like me.
Yeah.
Oh, well, thousands, anyway.
Yeah, this is a separate question, but I was at school and the teacher was saying that she worked in child protection up north and stuff. Yeah. And she's saying, but they should take them to the white families because there's not enough Aboriginal people to look after them and all this stupid stuff. And I actually wrote it, not a complaint, but I wrote to her. I suggested that she have an Aboriginal speaker about that stuff in class, and she didn't know what I mean because she was a white woman saying this stuff.
Yeah.
I was really upset about it, actually.
Well, it is really upsetting. And, all anybody says is, won't somebody think of the children? But exactly, won't somebody think of the children? We know this does not have good outcomes. Like it's the very definition of stupidity is to keep repeating the same thing and expecting a different outcome. We're not going to get a different outcome. We're just going to have more and more and more badly damaged people.
Yeah. Sorry. She was also...
No, go ahead.
She was also saying that, there's lots of drinking and just the typical stereotype stuff like child molestation. And it's like, what? You're a teacher about, social community services and you're talking like that.
Yeah, well, it sounds like she's also reading a lot of mainstream media as well.
Sound like Channel 7 or something?
Well...
Sorry,
well, yeah. Yeah, that kind of stuff. Because what we found from the report, from the intervention... oh, no, hold on. It was the Little Children and Sacred report which actually led to the intervention. The sexual abuse wasn't just occurring, like there were no cases were ever prosecuted of a First Nations person abusing a child in the Northern Territory. Yet the report said that it was mostly white workers.
Yep.
White social workers, white construction workers, the army, I presume, just all the other services that were there.
Mm.
You know, we're so vulnerable like that, and it's so easy for them to skew it in the media so that it appears that we're eating up our own communities. Our communities are being eaten up, but not by us.
Yeah,
it's from outside forces.
Yeah, by the white man's
making the situation untenable for us to remain in remote communities, so they can take the land, of course.
Yep. Could you talk about what happened to you when you were criminalised as a child? I believe your mother trusted authorities to look after you temporarily.
Well, yeah, she did. And she was betrayed because they didn't thought to remove her from me permanently. But yeah, like having that on my record, and because I was already under the child welfare, as it was known back then, like normal disciplinary issues that would be dealt with in the home or at school became occasions to call the child welfare officer, and it may or may not become a criminal matter, or not so much a criminal matter as a juvenile matter, and I'd have to go to kids' court and explain why I'm a naughty girl, for not cleaning my room and stuff. But yeah, those instances of being spoken to, you might say, by the child welfare officer, went on your record. And there were things that when you became old enough to come to the notice of the police, and I ran away from home a lot, so the police would often catch me and bring me back. But even that was not a criminal charge, running away from home. It was always being charged with neglect, exposed to moral danger, being exposed to moral danger, and being uncontrollable. We used to call it the trifecta.
Was that just all general things they charged you with? Or just,
yes.
Oh, it's not running away from home,
No, but if you ran away from home, that's what they charge you with. They charge you with that for pretty much anything you did wrong. And of course those instances, and because they're all recorded on your record, when you say 16, 17, going on 18, they take more notice and they put you up into adult court, which they did to me. And so I went to prison when I was 17, did my first sentence in 6 months.
Oh, right.
Yeah. And it wasn't necessary. I wasn't caught with any drugs. I hadn't actually had any drugs at that time.
Yeah.
I had no implements on me. But they offered me help. And I thought that was a good idea at the time, so I admitted that I'd been using drugs. Oh. And they locked me up.
Oh, shit. Sorry, I said shit.
For 6 months, I presume that was the help they were going to get me.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's not just not just my story. That's the story of so many Aboriginal people, and even people who are just state wards.
Yep. Yeah, I had a lot of those at school, a lot of people who were state wards. Was it the state?
Yeah, you were different. You were definitely different and treated differently and viewed differently.
Yeah, you were. I wasn't one. I'm not saying. I'm not. Don't worry about it. I just meant at school there was a few people like that. It was the state, and they were. I agree they were treated differently, like they were rough and tough and stuff.
And they weren't had to go to the Smith family for uniforms and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. Well, the Smith family had taken all the way on holidays. For some reason, I never used to get to go.
Really?
Yeah.
Like they take other kids, not you.
Yeah, the state warrants would go, and legacy kids, I think.
Oh, legacy. What was that again?
Yeah, legacy is the kids of returned soldiers.
Oh, that's right. Yep.
Yeah. Or soldiers who died in the war. And it was still, Second World War back then.
Do you think that's because of you're a First Nations person, or?
I couldn't say with any sort of real sureness now. I had no idea back then.
Yep.
Yeah.
So
but it's entirely possible.
Yeah. How was it affected you being criminalised by like this, like the stolen generation?
How do you mean?
Oh, it says. Can you talk about the criminalised as a child? How do you think it affected?
Well, yeah. Mainly because it feeds you straight into the adult system. But the way, and it's no different now, to the juvenile detention places I was sent to when I was a kid. They're just as horrible in a different way. The places we were sent to were pretty awful, and there was a lot of sexual abuse back then, as we're finding out now with the Royal Commission. And things haven't really changed that much.
No.
Except we criminalise children at a younger age now. I think it was 14 or maybe even 16 when I was a kid to be actually have criminal responsibility. And now it's 10. We're locking 10-year-olds up in these conditions, and of course it's always more Aboriginal kids than anybody else. And then we have things like what happened to Dylan Voller come out. And it's going to keep coming out. You know, this isn't isolated to the Northern Territory. This is all over the country. In every single state and territory this is happening. And look, we say we care so much about the kids. No, we don't. While this is happening, I'm sorry, but we don't care about those kids a bit.
Do you mean the government, though?
Yeah. Or even us, that we're allowing it to continue. We know it's happening. We've seen Dylan.
Yeah.
We know it's happening. We know they're killing us all the time. Something's got to give, and I think removing a lot of the laws that criminalise First Nations people far and above anyone else would be a good start.
Yep.
And increasing the age of criminal responsibility. It's got to be at least 16.
Yep. Do you think that
and you can't lock kids up. It changes your brain. The trauma of all that stuff, it changes how your brain works. And it never goes back.
Yeah.
They've altered you for life.
Let's see.
And not in a good way. No, it's not in a very good way at all.
No, wouldn't be. Do you think that like with the people talk about child sex abuse and alcohol drinking and, do you think that the best thing to do is to recommend the government should listen to elders and not just go and force these things onto Aboriginal communities?
Oh, it goes without saying. The government should have absolutely nothing to do with these things.
No.
They only know one approach, and that's punitive and lock them up. Alcohol and drugs are a huge issue, not just in First Nations communities all over Australia. It's because people are desperate, people are hopeless, and we're more hopeless and desperate than many other people, simply because of the circumstances of how we've been treated in this country for over 200 years.
Plus,
the self-medication is a powerful thing. It's easy. You don't have to tell your story to doctors and psychologists, which you probably wouldn't even get to see anyhow. So drugs and alcohol are a cheap, effective, and reasonably cheap, effective and accessible way to self-medicate from the trauma. And the trauma is huge. It impacts so much of your whole being, your identity, your belief in who you are, what you think of the world. All of that is impacted so deeply.
That's true. There's it's not just Aboriginal people too, isn't it? Drinking, because the white, I'm white myself, but the white culture, they drink behind closed doors, and
not in Bondi.
Not in Bondi. That's funny.
But yeah, I've read a study it's a while back now, but the statistics shows that per capita, less Aboriginal people drink than white Australians.
That'd be right, yeah.
Yeah. It's so beyond the myth and the stereotype.
Yeah, it's stereotyping.
It seems to be increasingly harder to try and dispel those stereotypes.
Yeah, it's true.
They seem to be pushing harder to, cement them on people's minds. We can do anything to these people because we've dehumanised them.
Yep.
Yes, it's not a very good situation for any of us. These things are filtering down to the general community now with punitive measures with welfare, which admittedly are going to impact us more than anybody else, but they will impact everybody. And it's not just that, the current pensions, everything that this government is doing is creating a climate of despair and hopelessness.
Yeah.
No wonder our suicide rates are through the roof.
And they sit in their ivory towers looking down on everyone, basically.
Yeah. Well, if you'd have tried hard enough, you'd be rich too.
Yeah, that's their attitude, really, isn't it?
Well, it is. You ask any rich person how they got there, and they'll tell you hard work.
Have you got much? Have you got anything else to say about the stolen generation stuff?
Oh, I think that we've got to stop this one that's happening now.
Yep.
This has got to be stopped. They advertise for carers, on Facebook, on the internet. They advertise for carers. This is becoming another industry, the job search.
Oh, really?
Providers.
And you get paid and stuff.
Yeah.
That's terrible.
The poverty industry. Now we've got the child removal industry.
Jeez.
We've got all these little agencies springing up to provide carers and collect the money, I imagine.
And yeah, on mainstream TV, there was a big rally in front of the studio, wasn't there? And they just
Channel 7, yeah.
Yeah, they just put this false barrier behind them, like everybody's all pretty and walking past.
Yeah. That was pretty amazing. And they tried to backpedal from that, but there's no coming back from that. That was terrible.
It was.
But they should have gone. They did get a whole lot of backlash, but they hit it with screens and panning to different stories and things.
Yeah, they were saying, like, a white panel saying what the Aboriginal people should do, basically.
Oh, I know.
Pretty awful. It's the same as colonisation, still.
Still, yeah. Oh, yeah, it hasn't stopped.
No. Well, thanks, Vickie. It's really.
They
good.
haven't got everything yet, I suppose.
Oh, yeah, true. The land and the.
Yeah, and little flies in their ointment, I think.
Thanks, Vickie. We appreciate you coming on the show. Always do.
A pleasure talking to you always.
No worries, mate. Well, see you soon. Hey, speak soon.
Yep, will do.
And that was Vickie Roach talking about the various things, but mainly the stolen generation. We'll just go to a track now. This is My Island Home.
Dear listeners, the annual Good Friday Charity Radiothon of the Australian Medical Aid Foundation will kick off from 9 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. on Friday, the 30th March. 3CR is dedicating its media space to support this noble cause. Therefore, 3CR's regular program will not be on air during this time. The funds raised from this 10-hour radiothon will be utilized to supply medical aid, equipment, training, patient-centered care programs, and resources to those affected by 30 years of war in the north and east of Sri Lanka. You too can become a generous partner by calling us on 03 9419 8377 during the radiothon on 30th Friday to donate towards this wonderful initiative.
You got to remember, NAIDOC's a special day for us, brothers. That's a reminder who we are.
Every year for NAIDOC Week, 3CR Community Radio gives voice to our Indigenous brothers and sisters through Beyond the Bars, Australia's only live prison broadcast.
I am a black man.
NAIDOC means a lot to me. It's about identity and also about past and present.
NAIDOC means a lot to me, for my family and my people.
And the people forgetting about our rights.
You can access audio from current and past Beyond the Bars broadcasts via the 3CR website. Go to 3cr.org.au/Beyond the Bars and either listen to or download audio from Australia's only live prison broadcasts.
Happy NAIDOC!
I spent the evening with the radio. Regret the moment that I let you go.
Has your subscription lapsed? We want you back. Spend more than the evening with us. Reunite with us. Subscribe to 3CR and get excited. Call 9419 8377 or donate online 3cr.org.au. And let's get back together. It'll feel so good.
Why do you reckon people should subscribe to 3CR?
Because I think we have more awesome music shows than anywhere else. And they're niche, and they're interesting, and they're adventurous. 3CR, the perfect companion in your car on your road trip.
If you're on digital, no tram interference. But if you're streaming, there's no tram interference.
No. That's true.
But if you like
That's
playing,
correct.
interference is always the AM.
The AM, old school. Some people like the crackle on vinyl.
Well, some people like noise music.
Experimental noise music. To subscribe to 3CR, unwaged is $35.
Yes.
Waged?
75.
And solidarity?
$150.
$150. That's pretty reasonable to help keep 3CR on air. Call 3CR 9419 8377 and
subscribe.
Subscribe today.
Subscribe now.
And we'll see you all next week. I think Marissa will be in. So take care of yourselves. Bye.